Hello, so the Big Bad Toy Store pile of loot has finally arrived. Well, you could see in the previous video because Skeletor was also from it, but still, here's Clown Violator from McFarlane Toys, and I think this figure is pretty cool. I think it's a little bit too tall, maybe, but that's not the main issue I have with the figure. The main issue I have with the figure is the head. I don't like this head because it's just like, you know, full-on screaming, and you all know what I think about screaming heads. I don't like them particularly. I, however, really do love this Spawn Series 1 head from all the way back in like 1998 or something like that. And well, this is very much a repaint of the original paint job, because the original paint job was really flat and cartoony. You can see like there's a lot of dry brushing and texture here. This is a really early paint job for me as well, and but I've been really happy with this for like several years now. But I want to try to transplant this head onto this one. So, as you can see here, the head he's a little bit hunchback, this clown. Well, so is this one, but this one a bit more so. I'm not really sure how the head is. Okay, so it's just like a gigantic ball and sockets here. So, I'm gonna obviously have to like hollow out the new one. So, we'll start with, I'm gonna have to remove this guy's head, and then I'm gonna have to start planning how to be able to make it then compatible, really. So yeah, this figure used to have like an action feature where if you pull this arm here, he would swap heads to his monstrous Violator head, and it's a pretty cool action feature, but I didn't really care for it too much, so I just I really sloppily sculpted everything shut here. You can see how bad this is, but like I said, this was several years ago. I wasn't particularly good at this, and I'm gonna have to undo this now. So I'm putting these pliers in here, and as you can see, I'm lifting up the entire head. Ooh. Open it up. There we go. The entire head is just coming off, like right here. Okay, so this actually saved me a whole bunch of work, because I thought this was going to be way more difficult. So I'm going to have to angle this a little bit, obviously. Might have to sand a little bit of this neck off. Well, not the neck, more like, this is supposed to be like the torso. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to like get rid of all this like flat flesh here. Like, from like here. So you see how I'm just like cutting through it. And then we'll tidy this up with some sanding and some additional cutting. Now we have this sanding sponge type thing. We can just sand everything smooth. And you can see the original flesh tone come through here. You can see how bright it is. It's not nearly as muddy and gritty as my custom paint job, but don't worry, we'll work on that too. Oh, guys, hello. Now that's more what I'm talking about there. Neck height is actually pretty good. I'm gonna have to trim down here a little bit. I think here is where it's gonna have to be, so the gaps in the shirt don't get too noticeable. So if you're curious about what this looks like, here it is. It looks awful, but whatever, this head is awful, so bleh. Here is the new head, and as you can see, I haven't, you know, done anything new to it. I'm probably gonna repaint the eyes a little bit. I want them to be a little bit more Todd McFarlane-esque in terms of I want them to be a bit sharper, but I sanded down the back of the head here just to give it some more clearance in here. And it's completely hollowed out. It was hollow from the beginning as well, but I'm gonna fill this up with some hot glue, and then I'm going to drill a hole in here and have it just like on like so, because I'm gonna have to drill through the entire hole. I can't really fill out the head with anything else to save glue, but I have so many of these glue sticks anyway, so I'm just gonna keep pumping in glue here. So I didn't really document me just simply, you know, drilling a hole into the glue, but if you want some fun tidbits, when you drill into glue, the glue gets like soft again, and it goes everywhere, and I got like a big chunk on my middle finger, and it hurts really bad still. But yeah, got a hole here for it now, and it's a little bit loose. you see this, but I'm going to show how to fix it. So we have some just bubble wrap here. It's I think it's like 4 little pieces that I just put on top of each other. And now we put the head on like so. And boom. Put some nice friction in there, and there's no way this is going off. The reason why I'm not doing this more permanent is because I actually did order another clown figure, and I really like that head sculpt as well. So I'm gonna see if I like that one more than this one when it arrives. Otherwise, it's just gonna be like an alternate head, I guess. I'm also going to have to repaint the skin tone here. I'm not really a fan of this like super pale white skin tone they gave him. I like the painting of the arm hair, but the skin itself is way too light for my liking. So what we got here is just some Vallejo basic skin tone, and I'm gonna dip my brush into some water and just, you know, quite a lot of water, like make it really nice and watery, because what I'm hoping to do is we're just gonna tint the skin. Loaded with paint. Actually, I think we're gonna go a little bit stronger from the get-go, so here's some Cadian flesh tone by Citadel. The nice thing about doing a character like Clown is that you don't really need to get the skin like completely smooth and stuff. You see he's got quite a lot of warts and stuff sculpted on, so now I have like a nice base to it. So I'm just gonna put some Reichland flesh shade and get into those nice little details, and then after that we're just gonna put a little bit of a lighter dry brush on top of everything. So with the wash now dried comes the fun part. So this is Eldar flesh. As you can see, it says dry here, which means it is a very dry paint. And I'm just gonna dip my brush in like so. You see only like a little bit of paint got on the brush. Also ignore how green this brush is, it's actually like fine. Just gonna dry brush. So I filled up this little hole in the back with some hot glue, and I'll just mix some clay and I'm gonna cover it up like so. So now we're gonna paint the arm hairs, and for that I'm gonna need the driest dry brush of all time, because I really don't wanna get any of this brown on the actual skin, so hopefully. Also, as you can see here, I sculpted in the back, and I just painted it like a dark blue. I'm a little iffy about this. Can I grime this up maybe like a little bit? I just think the color is a little bit too strong. Maybe I can... I've got some Agrex Earthshade here, and all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna like stain the shirt like a little bit, like bleh. So here he is finished, and I did a few things off camera, like I did this yellow smiley pin on his jacket just because I thought that it would help break up the monotony of this black jacket a bit. I painted in the back resculpt I did, and I also redid the head paint. Like the skin tone here is slightly different, just blends in a bit more, looks a bit more realistic and dirty. And I also redid all of the blue makeup he's got. So originally this was just like a flat M pretty much, but I wanted to bring it those sharp angles that he's got in the modern comics, and then I redid all the blue. I made the makeup go up a little bit further here on the cheeks just to get that sharp little line there, and I redid all of the blue just to you know, make it pop a bit more, because I've improved a lot in painting over these past 7 years. I also sculpted a lower lip, as you can tell from the side. Originally, it was just like completely flat between like this bit here and where the mouth started, so I wanted to really define that with a lower lip. And yeah, really happy with how that turned out. Again, bringing out the original head, this is it. You know, don't really like it in the slightest, to be honest. I have the other head coming in as well, assuming the seller didn't scam me. So, as a short little footnote, because I've been working on this figure, I've been rewatching Spawn the Animated Series, fantastic show, and I rewatched a little bit of the movie, and I've been rereading the comics. And, you know, when you read a comic, you try to put a voice to a character, and, you know, Keith David as Spawn is completely untouchable. And, you know, as good as Michael Nicolosi is in the show, the animated show, as Clown, as I rewatched, like, clips of the movie, even though the movie is pretty bad, John Leguizamo is just so good as Clown. He got, like, I can easily hear his voice better when I read the comics than I can hear Michael. He's always been talking really fondly about playing Clown back in the day, and he recently expressed interest in coming back for the reboot whenever that movie gets off the ground, so, you know, I would be completely on board with that. Here is the original figure. It's a pretty bad figure because, you know, the articulation is absolutely terrible, but look-wise, this figure looks really, really good still. But yeah, just wanted to throw that little tidbit out there, so hope you enjoyed.
That's it. That's the spirit. Just think of me as your guardian angel, the clown from hell. You're Jimmy Stewart and I'm Clarence.